Hi, in the previous video we learned how to create our first project and how to put the first three lines, which is our include statement, our std, and the main function. So if you want to check the previous video, you could find the link in the description. So let's continue our program. And over here, as you guys see, I'm gonna start an indented line. And instead of writing the statement over here, what you're gonna do, since we created our function, after that what we're gonna do is do indentation. This is the way it works, because we are inside our main function, so we're gonna indent it. So, and we're gonna say integer x. The way what we did over here, we created a new variable named x, and we said it's integer. So we created a integer named x over here, and don't forget to put the semicolon at the end, because this is specified at the end of the statement. And let's say our variable x is gonna equal to 2. So what we did over here is assign the value to our variable. So whenever we print the x as a result, it's gonna show 2. So how are we gonna print the result in the C++? The way it works is we're gonna say cout, which means character out, or output the character that I'm gonna put over here. And this is the reason why we put the include iOS stream in the first place, because if we didn't put this statement over here, then the program won't recognize this keyword, so it would cause error. But since now we have this iOS stream, then our program will recognize character out. And the way we're gonna output the result is gonna by writing character out or cout, and then we put our these two symbols over here. As you guys see, the symbols are toward the cout or character out, because we in our input we're gonna learn that their direction will be toward the opposite direction when we are putting the input. So when we are putting the input, it's gonna be this direction, but when we are putting the input, it will be this direction. We're gonna learn that later. Just keep this in mind, that if it's input, if it's output, then it will be to this direction. So if it's output, as we guys said, the direction will be to this side, which is this side. But if we are giving an input, then it will be to that side. We're gonna learn that later. And after that, we're gonna print, say, your value is, and this is the way you put an output. What we'll do, this statement will gonna print out all of these statements for us, because this called as string literal, and whenever you have anything between two quotation marks, it's gonna be printed out as a whole. So all of these will be printed out. But if we didn't put this over here, the quotation mark, then the computer it's gonna think that this is a variable, and as you guys see, we don't have variable named your value is. So that's why we put the quotation mark, and this converted to a string. After that, you could put semicolon to specify the end of this statement, and then you're gonna print our x value. So if we, before running this program, let's put our last statement, which is return 0. This is specify that the compiler run without any errors. So Let's compile it, and over here we're gonna, if you press over here, it's gonna just compile it without running it, and this one will run it. So we need first to compile and then we run, because as you guys remember from our introduction videos, we said C++ uses the compiler, which is compiles, then after that runs the program. So let's compile it, and now let's run it. As you guys see over here, it says your value is 2, which was our x. So what the way it worked, it printed out the x for us as a 2, because it has the value 2. But if I did something like this, then this time the computer or the program doesn't recognize x as integer, it recognizes it as a string, literal string. So now it's gonna say just, it says your value is x, because it doesn't recognize what the value x has. It just knows that it is a string.